Welcome to Twitter Matters. A couple of years ago, I was getting ready to go and speak at a retreat, and it was the morning, and I was packing in my bedroom, and I had the TV on, and it was Good Morning America. And Diane Sawyer was talking about the fact that that week, the whole cast was going to be taught how to Twitter. And I remember throwing things in my bag, and at that point I was just getting so tired of all of this social media talk that I was hearing, and I was thinking to myself, not another thing to learn. Give me a break. When is this going to stop? And as I'm having this conversation in my head, the Holy Spirit said to me, I like Twitter. Just like that. And I said, you do? I remember being incredulous. And then he said, yeah, I tweet to you all the time. I wanted to lay down on my floor. It was a holy moment. And that was when I realized God is in Twitter. And God is in Facebook. And the whole earth belongs to him and everything it contains. So this is an important matter for us to know about, because it is the way that the world is communicating. And if we're going to communicate the message of Jesus Christ, we have to know the mediums to get out there and reach the people. So let's talk about Twitter today. My objective is for you to know, why do we want to use Twitter, to be able to set up your Twitter account, and then to be able to successfully connect with a target audience, whoever it is that you're supposed to be talking with. The first thing I want to ask is anyone on Twitter here in the room? So good, we got quite a few people. Okay, so here's the question. Do you know what your most popular tweet so far has been? Does anybody know, could they say what that would be? Well, that's a piece of information that as you're on Twitter, and we'll talk about tracking a little bit later, that's kind of important, because you find that you want to engage with people, but you're looking for their engagement back. And one of the ways that you can track that and measure it is who's talking about my tweets? What's happening with these things that I'm putting out there? And so when you put something out and it gets passed along or it goes viral, you need to look at what was the content in that, what made people engage. So it's kind of an important thing, and just a good thing to be thinking about as you tweet and paying attention to that. Why should I be on Twitter? I mean, it's the masses and then there's me. Why should I? Well, for me, and I think for you, since we're in ministry, it's part of the Great Commission in our generation. Jesus said, go into all the world and preach the good news to all creation. And I love this second part where he said, then the disciples went out and preached everywhere, and the Lord worked with them. See, God will work with us, even on a platform like this. The Holy Spirit is working on Twitter. And if we understand that, and we're engaged with him and aligning ourselves with him, there's a lot of power on that network. We should have an advantage over just regular people, because we have the Holy Spirit who totally understands where this whole thing's going to be in 20 years. So it's great news. So the Great Commission. Right now, and you never know whether these numbers are correct because they change so quickly, but 200 million people this week supposedly tweet, and why we should too. It'll raise awareness. It'll build relationships. You might be doing customer service. You can talk with people about your product or your service or your ministry that are connected with you. You can answer questions or any kind of inquiries. Mentor, give solicited advice, and that one you got to be careful about not being a bossy, brash person on Twitter, or they'll nail you right away. People don't like that. But they are looking for advice. People are looking for what is going to build value in them. Give tips, promote others, give referrals, promote events, products, and services. When you have your program going, these are just some things I thought about that are actually happening when you're engaging on a regular basis. You're able to listen to your stream of people that you've connected with, so you find out what's important to them, what their needs are, what their strengths are. You want to become a thought leader. whatever reason you're on there for your particular ministry, and we're not talking personal now, we're talking about your agenda. You want to be the go-to person, and over time you can build that into your profile. People will begin to say, this person knows a lot about this particular subject, and I'm going to go to them. It's an ever-expanding communication medium. I mean, you're following people, and then their people that are following them notice you, and they add you, and it's like a ripple effect. So it's ever increasing. It's an open invitation to your website. Your website should be on every one of your profiles. And so people, when they look at you as a new follower, most people click to see, what is this person about? What's their website? So you're inviting people without even having to invite them. And it's a content source for Google. Google looks at tweets. It's part of raising you up on the search engines so that you'll show up on Google. Every tweet.
Can we ask questions during your talk?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How does that happen?
It happens by the keywords, the words that are in the tweet.
Okay.
As people search for things that have those same words, it'll pull it in. And it also happens just from presence, that you're actually adding content onto the web, and so it will bring you up. Like now when I Google myself, a lot of times there'll be a number of tweets that I've tweeted that come up in the whole Google list, which a year ago that didn't happen. Yeah. Well, I tweet under my name, Carl Fosh, but I tweet as my ministry. I mean, I don't tweet personal things. There's a few personal things. I mean, you need to be personal, but I have an agenda, and that is to glorify God and to help people connect with Him on a daily basis in their life. So it doesn't come up under Deep Breath Ministries. It comes up under COLLFOSH, which is what my Twitter handle is. But yeah, it will raise you up in the Google search. And then it's a real-time search for audience. You can actually get on and use the search function and find people, find particular people that you're looking for in a certain venue or a niche or a business or whatever. So it's really awesome who you can find. So the goal is to be someone that people anticipate getting valuable content from. If you keep that in your head when you're on Twitter, you will be successful. People will want to follow you and they will want to engage with you. What do we do first? The first thing you need to ask, and if you're already on Twitter, you should be asking yourself this if you haven't already. Why and who? Why am I on? What is it that I'm wanting to do? Are you wanting to network? Are you wanting to do customer service? Are you wanting to create an audience? Are you wanting to just brand yourself to where you're getting the word out that I'm a ministry that does this thing? Are you wanting to sell something? You got to figure out what your goal is, because then your tweets are going to support that goal. So you need to figure out, and you may have a few of those mixed in together. And then who is your established audience? Who are you going after? Like for me, I'm going after Christians, and I've got over 4,000 followers now, and they're all, I would say 99% are Christians. That's a valuable base of people for a lot of people who I've isolated these people. I know who they are, and so if another ministry is looking to engage with Christians, they can come to me, to my Twitter account, and suck in those 4,000 people like that. That's huge in building your list for what you're wanting to do. So that's just me, but you can be doing that for, if you build swimming pools, if you're a Bible study leader, whatever it is, you can actually niche out and go after specific people. For Proven Way, we're looking for ministry leaders, pastors' wives, pastors, people that would be interested in the leadership that we offer. So think about that. And then you can define and organize your subject matter. Based on that, what are you going to tweet about? You're going to figure out. For me, I'm looking to give value to the Christians. I'm wanting to encourage them. I'm wanting them to learn. I'm wanting to challenge them with the Word. Just different things that I'm focused on to help my followers be able to follow Christ more strongly. Decide the frequencies of your update. This is all kind of before you really get going. look at your ministry and your time realistically. If you cannot be on Twitter every day, then don't try to plan on being on Twitter every day. Just decide, I'm only going to tweet twice a week, and I'm going to do it on these 2 days and at these particular times. And I will say, if you're going to be infrequent on Twitter, do decide to be on consistently at the same time on the same day, because people will get that and they'll look for you at that time if you're consistent. So make it easy for people to follow you. In other words, because if you're only doing a couple of things a week, you're going to get lost in the stream unless they know, well, this lady's always on at noon, or whatever. And then determine follower gaining tactics. What I mean by that is, do you want to automatically follow everybody that follows you back, or do you want to be more selective? Those are things, both of those things are just a decision. You have to decide what you want to do. So, decide that ahead of time, and you can set up that plan before you go forward. And then decide on tracking management. Figuring out how am I going to know how I'm doing on Twitter, what this is all going to mean, and we'll get into that as we go on. First thing we're going to talk about is setting up your account, and most of you are on Twitter, and I wasn't planning on this going slow anyway, because I can't, unless you had a laptop and we were stepping you through, it would take most of the time. But it's pretty, straightforward, simple. You just fill in your information, and then I set an account up for my mother-in-law here, and so you just put in the stuff, click, create my account, and then you'll get this friends thing. It's asking you, all right, let's connect with some friends. But if you don't have a Twitter account, I would recommend just clicking on this bottom next step friends and moving past that at this point in time. And then here you can search for friends. You can import your contacts like from Gmail, Yahoo, any of your LinkedIn, your email accounts. You can actually pull all those people in, but you can do that at a later time too. The most important thing is to get your profile set up. So you can follow people by looking for them in this little thing. If you know someone's for certain, like provenway.org, you would put it in there and they could find it, and you could just click follow. And see, I put I want Bible study people, so you can put Bible study in there in the search, click on it, and then here, look how it brings up all these people that are involved in Bible study, and you can just go down and follow whoever you want to. So the search options are really good. Then you view those selections. When you want to go back to setting up your account, you'll click home. A lot of times the home button is what you'll use to get back to where you want it to be. So here's where you set up your profile, and it looks like this. And you're just going to choose a file. If you already have a picture in your computer, you would choose it, put it in there, put the name. If you want to be located, which you should be, you should always have a location in there. It doesn't have to be your home, like Bedford. It could be Dallas. Actually, it's better to be in the bigger metropolitan areas because you're found by Twitter searches better, easier that way. And then your website, always have this HTTP code in front of it, because if you don't, your website will not be clickable. In other words, they'll click on it and nothing will happen. But if you have that HTTP colon and then the 2 slashes, they'll go straight to your website. So make sure you have that. And then a bio that's 160 characters or less. So I filled all of this out for my mother-in-law's account, and then you just click save. It will ask you then to go and confirm an email for Twitter. Here's the background stuff, which is another big thing. I use the Proven Way website, which is here, to kind of make our Proven Way Ministries look like our website. And all I did was go out, I just Googled just colors, and I found a color that was similar, and then I put it in as our background on Twitter. So you can do backgrounds cheap and easy and that sort of thing. And I gave you a handout which has lots of tools and tip sites on it, and there's also in the back, there's a place for notes if you want to make notes during the presentation. But a lot of this stuff, you'll see there's just great websites and great help tools listed there for you. So you want to make your site look like your website if you have a website. If you get back in the back here to do all of that stuff, it's basically clicking through this settings area, which opens up all of these little areas that you can actually go in and specify your particular stuff. I'm not going to go through all of those, but for design, you can pick like one of these could be your background, and that's simple. And then you just move forward from there, and it'll say, you know, change. Like I had to change the background image and pull in this background that I found. Choose a file. If you've got actually someone created a background for you, you could pull that file in and then just save changes. And then it will ask you to actually set up your colors on your actual Twitter stream, which is here within this red box. So if you saw, it asks you, like, what are the colors you want to use? I wanted to use links, this color, and the sidebar, and then this, so it all kind of blends together. So you just mess with that. But it's really easy and simple, and you're going to get the hang of it. This is where you can set up your phone. If you are on a smartphone, you probably should be on this, because you never know when you're going to, especially want to actually put out some information. If you're somewhere at a conference or somewhere, you can actually tweet through your phone. And one thing I was going to actually say is, if there's any of this is all going to be online, but if you want, you could actually even use your phone right now to take pictures of these slides, if there was a slide that you wanted to remember. So the phone is easy to set up too, and here are the instructions. So when you go to the actual site for, you know, looking at this later, you can read it, but it's easy to follow. Okay. Here's where you tweet. Who hasn't tweeted?
Me, if you can believe it.
Okay, so it's extremely simple. You go into your Twitter home, you're on the home page, there's this box here, you type in a tweet, you hit tweet, and guess what? It comes out on the stream right here. Now the reason this person is here is because this person is following my mother-in-law's account. So he's, you know, we're following him. So he's come out so we can see everything that he does, and he was the only person that I followed. You can see here it says following one person. So as you follow more and more people, it keeps track of how many people you're following, and then it will also tell you how many people are following you. So there's her tweet. These are important to know, and I gave you on the front of your handout what these different signs are, because they're the way people are talking with you. @mentions equals a reply to you. So in other words, if you look here, here's my, okay, here is my, that's me, Call Fosh. So this person, Heart Cures, responded to me saying sigh. So she responded back to me. So anything that has the @ and your name is going to be about you, or, you know, it's either from you or it's to you. And this, I clicked on @mentions, so I'm looking for all the mentions of me. So this guy right here mentioned me. He was sending me something he wanted me to look at, and he put my name on it so it would go directly to me in my @mentions, and I could find it. Retweets are something that is passed along that you put out there, either by you or by someone else. Okay, so let's look at the retweet. You see right here, this RT. That means that he's passing along what this person said, and this is what they said, and then he added me to it. So it's a simple way to like push it through to someone else if you like something that someone said. And here again is retweets. It has that RT in front of it, and it has this little thing in front of it. So each one of these people passed along something that someone else said.
You know, why do this instead of emailing? Sorry. I mean, what? I mean, I'm pretty, you know, I'm a networking savvy person, so I've never engaged this because I always thought that you had to do it every second of the day.
No. Because you can isolate people this way with this @. You can go just to that area and look at who's, you know, had a conversation with you. And really, more than anything, it's about networking with like-minded people. And then you take it offline, or you take it into Facebook where you can talk more. To me, it's a front line. It's almost like a billboard.
So if you have any networking, like for the group, for our group,
Mm-hmm.
my group, it would be stupid not to. Because one of the other gals said, "Are you tweeting?" And I said, "No." Because why can help you with that, you know?
Absolutely.
Manage that account only because of my time. It's like, you know, it's another thing to do, but it seems pretty simple.
Well, for me also, I've used Twitter as a group thing where there's several of us that are going to do a certain thing and we're not in the same place, but we direct message, which is the next thing. This messages is where you do private messages to one another. And we can keep track of one another through direct messages on Twitter. Like I'm just tweeting in, okay, I got to the store, I'm picking up this. And then they see it on their Twitter, on their phone, on their Twitter account. Okay, she's already done that. So, and no one else can see these direct messages but the person you send them to. So it can be a way to keep track of one another on a team when you're doing things.
As a group, we each take a day
Mm-hmm.
that we're responsible for Twittering.
Yes.
And Colleen has us an assignment, an assigned day.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're not responsible for tweeting for Proven Way every day.
Mm-hmm.
We have a day that we watch it.
Okay.
So that might help your group.
So setting up a team thing. Lisa?
Well, because I don't really love to do this either,
Mhm.
but I'm starting to. But you know, like in my quiet time in the morning, I just have my phone there. When God's showing me something, tweet it. It's just 140 characters.
Right.
It takes a minute,
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes, you're done.
Exactly.
So I had to change my mindset of this is something else to do. To, it's God showing me. What do you want me to pass along? What do you want these people to hear today?
Right.
So it was a change of mindset.
Especially if you're a speaker or you're an author or you're writing a book or you're launching a new retreat center, you can talk about those updates, and she's not in here, but that would be something good to get people excited. So I can definitely see how that, upcoming meetings.
Right, absolutely. It's a connection point, and people do get to know you through Twitter. I've gotten to know many, many people. Yes.
Would you go back to that other screen? And
Which one?
I cannot read that language, but on the top one where it says demo CD, then
Okay.
tell me what that says.
Okay, what this is saying is this was retweeted. The very last person is the person who starts it. Okay, so I started this. Well, actually, wait a minute. Spreading Joy started it, and these people also retweeted it, and we'll talk about that too. So all three of these people pushed this little thing here along.
Okay.
You all will love each other. She's trying to connect people, so she sent it to one person, and then they passed it along. So there's another person hooked on, and then they passed it along, and there's a third person hooked on.
Okay.
See how it begins to form like a train if it keeps getting passed on.
All right.
Okay, so that's all that is that all of those people were involved in this particular.
And you have to know those people's at.
Yes, that's their name, basically.
Their name.
You have to know. And you can click on this and it will open up their profile for you so that you can see who it is.
But would you go back?
Sure.
I'm sorry. Where it says DEMACB, whatever, and is that girl's name?
Yes, that's her.
Okay.
And her real name is Deanne.
Okay. And then what about the peaceful one? What's that?
This is another person that tweeted this, and this person, she tweeted this person did the original tweet and she pushed it along. She retweeted it.
Some people use their name, some people use a ministry name,
Yeah.
some people use like a handle, a code name. It's kind of it's up to you.
Yeah, and it kind of tells you like this was retweeted by me, but it doesn't tell you the whole line. It just tells you kind of where you are in the line. So, and that's a little bit something you have to get used to, but it's really pretty simple, and you'll get it, pretty quickly as you go along. So, this is the messages area. The other ones you get to from home, but on the messages, this is like your private mailbox. So all of these people sent me a message that's only for me. I'm the only one who can see it. Okay? So anyway, and this is something that I do that's really kind of made a difference. I do send an automatic message. There's a lot of controversy about that when someone follows you, whether you should send an automatic message, because I have had people say to me, is that an automatic message or did you really respond to me? And I've had to tell them it's an automatic message. I don't have time, but I want to reach out to you. So, but I've asked them to join my Facebook community just so they're aware of it. And it's working. A lot of people are doing that. So that's something you can put on yours too.
I was just reading that you sent to me.
Yeah. You know, it goes to everybody, but it's just a way to connect. So. Okay. I love you. You know that. That's mine. All right. In this area, when you're looking at someone's tweet, this is the area down here that you actually click on to respond to that person. Usually with reply, or if you just want to pass the tweet along, you use retweet. Favorite is just a storage area for you that you can click favorite and it will put it in your favorite file so you can go back and look through favorites, and that's it. And this buffer thing is just an addition that I have. It's not usually on there, but it's an application that I loaded on. When I hit that, it's buffer.com. That shows up on all my web pages, so if I'm somewhere that I really like something, I can click it and it will make it into a tweet so that I can pass it on. It's pretty
If
easy.
you reply, then you're replying directly to that
To
person.
to Mel's World, yeah.
But then if you retweet, you're retweeting that to your followers.
Yes.
Okay.
And all my followers can see my reply to Mel's World too if they're following her, so yeah.
How do you get so many followers?
I just engage with people. I just started out and I talk to people, and I will talk about that kind of how that works. But here, hashtags I explained in the notes here, but if you use a hashtag to search for it, you would put it up in the search and then it will bring out everybody that's talking about that particular subject will be listed in the stream, and it will take out everybody who's not talking about that. So if you want to just look at one particular thought pattern, you would use a hashtag, and that's the way Twitter, that's the system Twitter came up with to help people kind of differentiate between what's being talked about.
They work on a blogging type system? Is that...
It's really considered a microblog where it's just a very short blog. So, if you view Twitter as your ministry asset, you're going to follow this etiquette. You're not going to be a stream hog where you see people that are just, I've had to stop, following people that fill up, there's like 25 tweets in a row. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. So the rule of thumb is 6 times a day. Now, sometimes I've tweeted 12 times a day. If I'm at a conference and I'm feeding different stuff that people are responding to, it's fine. But you want to spread them out and you don't want to do too much. You've got to be careful what you say. Everyone is reading and you will be confronted at times. The great thing about it is that because of the distance and you're not face to face, you can calm down, you can really think through what you say. I'm amazed that many people don't do that, but there should never be bad blood on Twitter, because you, as a Christian especially, you have enough time to go to the Lord and ask Him to help you to respond. So, do unto others as you want them to do to you. You want to add value. This 12 to 1 rule, the Holy Spirit gave me. When I very first started tweeting, He said, I don't want you to put anything out about yourself until you've talked to 12 people. It was like the disciple, His apostles to Him. And that's how I started out, and it was hard, because you find out, I want to talk about me, but I would have to look through my stream and respond to people or talk to people before I could put something out about Deep Breath Ministries or what I was doing. And that rule I'm not following religiously anymore. I don't really have to, because there's enough engagement going on already, but to begin with, it was a really good discipline. To get that we're really about other people, not about us. We're responding to them, we're building relationships, we're engaging, we're positive. So to add value is a tweet formula. You can do that through newsworthy stuff for that niche, whatever you're focused on. Find some newsworthy stuff. Links or articles or people that you can pass them on to, give wise advice, answer questions about that niche, solve some problem within that niche, or send them a link that says, here's an article that solves that problem. Praise people that are in your niche, that are doing well, that are doing things that work. That is, an added value. If you want to get reactions from people, ask questions, post links to a review of something where there's conversation, invite them into discussions. Talk about problems and difficulties. Ask for solutions, especially asking for solutions. If you put out there, you know, I have a child and they just won't talk to me. Anybody know? Anybody have advice? Boom. I mean, you will get all kinds of people leading you to links or giving you advice. It's a great way to connect. To get shared, post interesting material. If they feel like you're a thought leader, they'll share you. They'll pass those tweets on. They'll do a lot of RTing, you know, retweeting down here. Quotes are good. People love quotes. I don't know why, but they're passed around all the time. Good links. Videos from YouTube is another thing that's passed. And admiring someone or their content is another thing people like to pass along. So that'll help you get shared. Here's some content sources. If you don't know what to write, you know, get on Google, look on some of these things like Alltop. It's just got all kinds of articles on everything. And read something and then form a tweet out of it. You know, think about it and form a little tweet out of it. Go to YouTube, look at videos, and put a little tweet about it. Just find other sources that can be kind of a place you can mine for your tweets. And then you want to manage your Twitter by using an outside application. On the Proven Way org, we're at Proven Way org. I will post today when I go home a YouTube video that I did with White Sheep Social Marketing, my company, on how to set up Hootsuite. And if you're not on one of these, then get it, watch it, and set yourself up, because it will allow you to not only be in one place and update all of your different social medias from one place, but it also allows you to pre-schedule. So you could tweet the whole week and set it all up on Sunday night and just get it done. That doesn't mean, yes, I set up things when I'm going out of town. The one thing it doesn't do is respond to people and interact with people. So it doesn't mean that, you know, I only have to be on Twitter once a week because I'm on Hootsuite and I do it. No, because what if people say something back to you? But at least you're not having to do the content side of it, which normally takes more time. So I'll put that out on at Proven Way. So if you go on our tweet stream, you'll see it and you can click in there. Okay, here's some Twitter tools. If you want to take a shot, because I don't have these in your notes, but if you want to take a picture with your phone. But these are the different tools. They're not all inclusive. There's lots of different tools, but these are ones that I use for video, audio, photos, music, polls and surveys, meetups where you want to get together with certain people, chats, or if you have a long tweet that you want to put on and it'll take it to an outside source. But those are just great for adding all those things in a tweet, because you can't do it just straight through Twitter. Okay? And then tracking. Here again are some good free sites where you can sign up on all of these sites and they will track your activity and give you some really good ideas and emphasis on what your influence is, what's really going on with what you're tweeting, how many people you're reaching, what are your best tweets, what's not being, you know, responded to. Are you building? Is what you're doing on a building pattern, or are you declining? That kind of thing. I mean, it's free stuff, and there are some paid services that give you a lot more, but these will go a long way in letting you know what you're doing and how you're doing. Twitter does not back up your tweets. And I've tweeted like, I don't know, something like 10,000 tweets, and I can only get 3,200 of them now. That's the top amount I can go back and save, and I really hate that, because I could have put an ebook together or something with a lot of the things that I put out there, but supposedly they're lost forever. I mean, Twitter still has them, because they remember the 3,200 mark, and eventually they may let you have access to it. But if you guys are new, I would say go out and get one of these, and these pull in your tweets and keep them so that you won't lose them. And it'll only go back as far as 3,200, but if you don't have that many already, it'll keep it from here forward. It'll back it up for you so that you have access to those tweets. Here's the tweet challenge. And this is only going to be 2 minutes. Find somebody next to you And if we've got 20 till, what time do we have time?
Just about 10 till for when Tracy gets in to do her update, and we'll close.
So let's take about 3 or 4 minutes, find a partner, and write a couple of tweets that, or talk about. You don't have to write them down if you don't want to, but what you would tweet to engage your audience next week. And if you write them down, then you have them, and you can just go home and type them in. So just take a minute and get with somebody. We're going to trust you on the character count.
Maybe
Anybody?
shop.
What was yours?
Well, I said my first one's really funny, so I was going to tweet this week. There's abundance of praise that reminds me of the birdie outside my window.
All right,
So-
sounds good. I think it might get truncated.
Yeah, but I said, you know,
Once you're on, the beautiful thing about Twitter is that it counts for you, so
Yes.
you know when you've gone over.
I'm going to
But yeah, but you know what? People love uplifting, funny
Yes.
tweets and stuff like that.
I want it to be a sweet nugget.
That's great. Okay, so in summary, the first thing you'll want to think about with Twitter, if you haven't set up your Twitter account, and if you have and you haven't thought about this, do it. Think about, why am I on here and who do I need to talk with? Set up your Twitter profile. Make sure it's complete. Don't leave anything out. Again, it's a great Google collector. Everything you put in there, Google finds, and it helps you get seen on the internet. This little, well, it's a Bitly, which Bitly, this Bitly is a shrinker. It shrinks long URLs. But you can watch this later if you've never set up your Twitter profile and you want to. It's a YouTube video that's great. It's clear, and you can just watch it and it'll walk you through. Find your audience and follow that audience. Tweet consistently. Use the tools that you need, that you have. And I listed a lot of really good tools in your handout. Recognize and help others. Add value, including your own. It's okay to showcase yourself and what God's asking you to do, but make sure that you include others in there a lot, and then let God lead you. So that's Twitter Matters, and we're just expecting you guys to be online, tweeting away, and proclaiming what it was that God gave you to do. Thank you.
Wow, man, that was awesome.